But you're here to remind us all that we're never alone. You've never left us nor forsaken us. That you walk with us. Matter of fact, you go out ahead of us to fight the fight. All we got to do is walk with you. Let you lead us and guide us and direct us through it all. And in the end, it'll all work out for your glory, for our benefit, and the benefit of the kingdom. I thank you. I thank you that we're not alone in this. I thank you, Lord. Right now, as we just poured out rain outside, it reminds us that you want to pour forth your word with your spirit in our hearts in this place this morning. And so I pray every heart just receives that today. It says, Lord God, just rain on me in a mighty way. Let the floodgates of heaven open up and flood over me with your presence in a supernatural and mighty way. Come into this place and flood my heart and do what only you can do. Come into this place and change me. Change me. Change me. I thank you, Lord. I receive that promise. And I thank you for your presence. And I thank you for this time. It's yours to have in Jesus' precious name. Amen. First Kings chapter 9. Third to 10th verse. It is been 20 years. Built these two buildings, the temple of the Lord and the Lord palace. King Solomon gave 20 towns in Galilee to Hiram, king of Tyre, because Hiram had supplied him with all the cedar and juniper and all he wanted. But when Hiram went from Tyre to see the towns Solomon had given him, he was not pleased. What kind of towns are these you have given me, my brother? He asked, and he called them the land of the Lord, a name they have to this day. Now Hiram had sent to the king 120 talents of gold. A couple of weeks ago, I just felt the unction of the Lord to go and just study Solomon. So I just started at the beginning of the rain, and I began to read, and I got to this place right here. And if you look at First Kings, this is a very moment that it just kind of just a little blip in here. It don't even really make sense with what's being talked about in this moment. He's talking about the dedication and praying to the Lord up to this moment. And then all of a sudden, we just switch back to Hiram. And then all of a sudden, he'll switch to all the works that he done, all the works that Solomon done. And there's just this little blip in here about what he's doing in life. And so I began to really dig in, and I said, Lord, what are you trying to show me in this? Because it just really grabbed his drug at me. And he began to show me some things in here. He began to peel some things out and show me some things and the way the kingdom of God works right here. And what was amazing about was, as it dealt with me, I just kept thinking it was for me, because this has been 2 weeks ago, and I just kept thinking, maybe this is for me, Lord. And then we come in Sunday, and Pastor Pete started talking Sunday night about the blood of the Lamb. And he preached on the blood of the Lamb, and that was the only access. It was the access to the Lord. And this all come flooding back to me. And so I began to prepare for this week, and all of a sudden, it just all, I put this together, and I reached Thursday. And I put this together, and I look at it, and I'm like, Lord, it still don't feel right. Something don't feel right. And I walk into Thursday night, and all of a sudden we start talking about reward, favor, blessings. We begin to start talking about these things, and everything that I put together all comes back again. And in that moment, the Lord said, see, I'm just trying to convey to you that this is what I want to set forth. And the enemy is trying to do what he can to stop you and hinder you from just standing on what I'm getting ready to show you. And as it began to rain this morning, God spoke to me again and said, you know, there's going to be some that miss this moment of teaching and this moment of something supernatural because I've got something special for them. That's why it's been such a fight. Because let me tell you, it rains and all of a sudden people just don't go out. It's true though. I mean, we talked about this before. It's the way it is. And in this moment here, we see Hiram and Solomon. Now, to understand this story, we've got to understand some things here. First off, Solomon and Hiram became very good friends right at the beginning of Solomon's reign. David and Hiram had developed a relationship. King David, Solomon's father, they had developed a relationship. And as soon as Solomon became king, Hiram, the first thing he did is sends a letter to Solomon and says, hey, pretty much let me just paraphrase. What kind of king are you going to be? Me and your father have a relationship. Are we going to have a relationship? And he says, yes. It's simply that. Very long letter. It's simply yes. And the relationship took off. And in this moment then, Hiram and Solomon, as they began to build a relationship, when the temple comes time to build the temple, Solomon says to Hiram, says, you've got the best cedars in all the world, and I'm needing cedars. You guys are skilled in cedar work. I need you to get that cedar, chop it down, send it up to me so I can build the temple for the Lord. Hiram said, okay. Solomon said, I'll give you whatever I want. I'll give you whatever I want. And so, we'll look at that in a minute. 1 Kings, if we back up to 5 in just a moment, but in this moment, he says, I'll give you whatever you want. And all that Hiram asked for was food. That's all he asked for. Provision. He don't ask for nothing more, nothing less. And as the song gets done, and it all goes through, and the temple's done, and now Solomon builds himself a palace. 20 years have gone by, and Hiram's helping, and Hiram's done for him. But in this moment now, Solomon says, I want to give above and beyond. You didn't ask for this, but I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you something because you're my friend. I'm going to give you something because you're dear to my heart. Because you've been there for me. You've supported me. You've been there. And so I'm going to give it to you. Of course, Hiram ain't real happy about what he sees that he got. To say, no, this ain't getting it. And then we get a little blip in here. I have to make sure because some people read verse 14. I love the King James says, and instead of now. It says, and Hiram sent. And it's showing that there's a differentiation between what happens in verse 13 and verse 14. And I know this for two reasons, and we'll get into this, but we'll be here for the next couple of weeks. I know we're doing. But if you get into 2 Chronicles 8, you'll see that Hiram don't pay for these. He don't even want these no more. He turns around and gives them right back to King Solomon. He is not paying for these things. Josephus confirms this in the same story. Josephus writes and says that Hiram and Solomon were such good friends that they would send each other riddles, little betting men. And Solomon being all wise, here Solomon, can you answer my riddle? And Solomon being all wise, in turn, Solomon answers the riddle. So because he's so wise and so smart, Hiram sends him talents. He sends him gold. This is what that's for. It's not for the land. This is a relationship. They're close. See, I tell you all this. I show you all this because this is the way the kingdom of God works. Understanding that there is only one reward. There's only one. To accept Jesus Christ as your Savior. To plead the blood over something, or to bleed the blood in your life, or declare the blood, or accept the blood, there's just one reward. It's Him. It's access to Him. It's access to the Father. It's access to the one that loves you. That's it. That's the only reward there is. You're not rewarded for your works. You're not rewarded for what you do. You're not rewarded for nothing else. There's one thing. Put up 1 Kings. Look at this. It says, so give orders to cedars Lebanon be cut for me. My men will work with yours, and I will pay you for your men whatever wages you set. You know that we have no one skilled in felling timber as the Sidonians. When Hiram heard Solomon's message, he was greatly pleased and said, Praise be to the Lord today, for he has given David a wise son to rule over this great nation. So Hiram said, Lord to Solomon, I have received the message you sent me, and will do all you want in providing the cedar and juniper logs. My men will haul them down from Lebanon to the Mediterranean Sea, and I will float them as grass by the sea to the place you specify. There I will separate them, and you can take them away, and you are to grant me my wish by providing food for my royal household. That's all he's asking for. In this way, Hiram kept Solomon supplied with all the cedar and juniper logs he wanted. And Solomon gave Hiram, listen, this is his payment right here. Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 quarts of wheat as food for his household, in addition to 20,000 baths and pressed olive oil. Solomon continued to do this for Hiram year after year. This is all he asked for. This is what he wanted. In the moment that we receive Jesus Christ, if we come to the realization, the only thing that we're asking for is Jesus to come and fellowship and be our friend and no longer be an enemy with him. I've got to be real with you this morning. It is not about salvation. It's not about salvation. The salvation comes because you're standing on his side now. You're standing with him now. He's fighting for you and with you. All it is breaking down. You're no longer an enemy of his. You're standing on the battlefront with him. Look, most of us, we get past the place, but we don't remember the place of our salvation, our conversion. Look, if we come in and say, well, God, you know, I'm just doing this because I don't want to burn in hell. Then we've missed the whole point. Mm-hmm. We've missed the whole point. Because you're getting ready to spend eternity with God. It's that access that you get to be with him forever. It has no difference. It's not between heaven and hell. It's between choosing the ladder and choosing God. It's about coming into the fellowship. And in that moment, see, it's that moment that we feed that. If we accept salvation in that moment, we accept the blood of Christ in that moment. If we're accepting all of that in that moment, then what we are accepting, what we come to realize is he's real, he's true, and he is who he said he was. We come to that place and recognize that Jesus was real. That Jesus lived, died, and was crucified and resurrected on the third day. We realize this. We come to that place. It was not about, well, if see, this is the problem with modern day preachers sometimes. As some of us, we get up and we begin to preach that we get all these things if we choose Jesus. When in reality, we get Jesus when we choose Jesus. We get Jesus when we choose Jesus. It's that simple. He is the reward. It's the trade-off. I'm no longer choosing myself or the world. I'm saying, you are my reward for choosing you. For laying my life down and washing the blood over it, I'm choosing you. This is why, look, taking this deeper, look, this is why people have areas in their life that are not prosperous. Why they're not? Because they don't put Jesus there. Listen to this. We talk about the Passover lamb. We talk about the Passover and how Jesus said, go and anoint the post, the doorpost, with the blood. See, it's sin that separates. And it's sin that gives rule and reign to the enemy. It's sin. And it separates us from God in the moment. And what Jesus was saying, the death angel has now got freedom to reign, and if you're not covered by the blood, if the blood is not pleaded over it, then the death angel will pass through. Why? Because he has access to you. But if I'm here and you've got access to me and you're pleading this over, then in this moment, I'm standing with you and he can't come in. And so as I plead it, they're not pleading over themselves right this moment. They're pleading over the whole household. They're pleading the blood over the whole household. This is to save them and their children. Mm-hmm. See, this is why so oftentimes the Word of God don't work for some people, and things don't work because they don't give God access to certain areas of their lives. They don't begin to plead the blood. And you can plead it all you want if you don't really live it. I can do a lot of things with my speech, but look, there's some people that are not. There's some people that will not ever receive prosperity in their finances because they don't give their finances over to God and they're not obedient with what the Word says. They're not really giving it to God. They're not giving access to God. We can plead the blood and say we'll give it, but in the moment we say, no, well, wait a second, not there. We don't give access to God in our jobs. We don't give access to God in our families. We want to do certain things our way. We give God access in certain parts of our lives, but not full access, and then we wonder why it does not flow the way God's Word says it should. It is God's Word. It is God's Word that declares who He is. And so when He says something and speaks it, then we must give Him access in them areas for that to be and come through. And to be able to come to fruition. It has to be. He is our sole Lord. This is why Matthew 5, verse 6, he warns us, Matthew 5 and 6, Matthew 6. It says, so when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in synagogues and on the streets to be honored by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. What's their reward? They've done this as a demand. They give what? Man access into their life. And so now they're saying, look, if you're going to give them access, you've got your reward. He goes on and says, do it in secret, and God will reward you in secret. What's He reward you with? Himself. Real praise. Look, we talk about a God-sized hole in our hearts. We talk about that God-sized hole that something is missing, and until it's full, because we were built that way. We always were created to be in communion with the Father. That's why we were created. He created you and I to be His friends, to be His family, to be in communion with Him. That's why we were created. It's soul, reason. And He said, I've opened up access so that you can come in and have this because sin separated you and me. And now the only person you're giving access to is the world around you in this moment. If you do it for them, then you're giving them access. But if you do it in secret, you're giving me access. He goes on to say, he says, if you go on and pray in front of people, don't make long prayers and do it in front of people because you have your reward. But when you pray, you should go in your prayer closet and pray in secret so that your Father may reward you in secret. What's He reward you with? His presence. You know, I felt when I was in prayer this week, I really felt like a strong push that there were some individuals felt alone. They felt alone. They just feel like they're alone in everything they do. They feel alone in their walk. They feel alone in their fight. They feel alone. And the Lord said this. He said, it's because we don't take the access that we have and have been granted and go into it. See, people begin to think that this is the moment right here. This is the moment that we need somebody, and that's what's going to bring us peace. And people think that I preach, pray, read your word, and say these things so that it makes you greater and better known, so you have access to the Father, so that you hear Him, you can be there with Him. This is what it's for. It's his sole desire. Because in that moment, when we begin to welcome him into areas of our lives and things in our life, then all of a sudden he begins to walk in them areas and he begins to fight in those areas. And those areas begin to do and facilitate the way he wanted and longed for. He goes on here, I didn't give you all the scripture. But he goes on and he says, this is how you should pray. Our Father. Our Father. Why is he structured? Because it shows the goodness of God. He's our Father. He's our Father. It's the goodness of it. It's just, I'm your daddy. I'm good. I'm good. Our Father, the goodness of God. Welcoming us as children. He created us to be his children, and we run wayside as a wayward child. This is why he can use the prodigal son and say, yeah, one stayed there, but all he wanted was what I had, and the other one he runs away, because that's my children. That's my children. One runs away and runs from me, but I'm welcoming back, and the other one he stays here and does all these things and does all these things, missing the whole point that I'm here. And that's all I want, is relationship with him. That's all. And he has access to everything because what's mine is his. Goodness. What I had. You know, years ago, this is just my nature. I have to be kind of arrogant. Years ago,
what's he say?
Years ago, my dad, 4 years. My dad is kind of something special around that girl. I mean, his name is known. I go in, I go with the aid and go out and say, "I'm told you, oh, you're the man that's popular." Well, no, that's my dad. But his name is known, and it's known for something because he's put out a name that was something. He said it meant something. His name, it meant something to him, and he worked hard to perfect that name. He made sure that name, when it was put out there, and he stamped his name to something, it was right. It was complete, and it was what they want. And in doing so, one of the things that anytime, there was anything, it was like, you know who my daddy is? You know who he is? Why? Because I would draw off that name. I love to throw it on David Home, Jr. Why? Because they don't know me, they had nothing to do with it. But it was because I had access to his name and I could apply the name. This is why we can apply the name of Jesus. This is because we have access to it. This is why in the book of Acts, I'm throwing a lot of different things at you, but this is why in the book of Acts, when the demon was coming through and they tried to call out the name of Jesus, and they said, the same that Paul serves, the same God Paul serves in the name of Jesus, and in that moment the demon come out and threw him around and said, Paul we know, and Jesus we know, you we don't know. Why? Because they had never taken the access to the name of Jesus. They never received it and applied the blood to their life. They had never ever applied the blood to their lives. They wanted to throw out a name, but they didn't have access to that name. See, this is the sole thing that when we come in, there is nothing else that you're getting. You're getting Jesus. We've got to get that down this morning. You get Jesus. That's it. That's it. That's it. If you're looking for something more, you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking in the wrong place. If you're coming because you want to be somebody or you want to do something great, if you're coming after him for anything other than just Jesus. And you come for the wrong reason. This is why so many people get caught up in works. Not by works, lest any man boast. It's not by works. Some people work and strive to try to please Jesus. Some people, they do everything they can to try to put on a facade that they've got it all together and they've got it all working out. And at the same time, they say all you've got to do for all to work out and all come together, just apply Jesus. Get access to the Lord. You don't got to put it on. If so, you have your reward. You give him access and you present yourself as great and holy and righteous. See, are there things that God wants to give? Yeah, they're called gifts. They're called blessings. He just gives. Why? Because you're his children. He just gives because he loves you. He just gives to you because now you're an heir to the throne. And you got the kingdom with your hand. And he says, because my children, because you're my children, I just give to you. This is what Solomon done for Hiram here. He said, because we're buddies, because I like you, because everything you've done for me, because you accepted me, because of everything you are to me, I am just going to give you a present. I'm just going to give you something because of the relationship we have. This is what Jesus does. He says, I'm just giving to you because we're buddies. We're friends. You're my child. Years ago, one of my neighbors, he had a boat for sale. $1,000. I went and looked at it, and I was like, well, I don't got $1,000, so it don't matter. I don't know why I looked at it. I wanted the boat. A couple of months went past, he never sold the boat. He said, I kept wondering why I wasn't selling the boat. And he came up to me and said, it's because God told me to give you the boat. I'm like, I can't take your boat. I can't take your boat. I can't do that. And he said, no, it's a gift. God wanted me to give this to you. I walked away and I felt like this thing because in the back of my mind, you know what I thought? I don't deserve a boat. I don't deserve nothing. Who am I? And later down the line, a couple months later, he asked me to form a patio, and he said, how much will that cost? And I said, well, it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be quite a bit. And in the back of my mind, I went to one of my brothers, and I kept thinking, I should do this because he gave me a boat. I should. And my brother looked at me, my brother Christ, he looked at me and said, you're still trying to earn what God's given you. This is not trying to earn what God's given you. You're trying to, God wanted to give you because you got to separate the two. If you are still trying to earn what God's given you, you're missing the point of who God is and what God desires for your life. You're missing the point of what God wants to do in you and through you. He just gives. Matthew 7 says what? Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask? He says, I want to give to my children. I want to give to them. I want to bestow something on them. Pastor, for weeks you've been preaching on birthing your giftings and doing these things. It's for you. It's for you solely. It isn't so that you're going to get more from God or less from God. It's for you because you're created with a purpose here. And until you find that fulfillment in that purpose, until you find out who you are and what you're called to do and what you're created for, there's always going to be a missing component in your life. It has nothing to do with earning the favor of God. It's saying, well, I've got to earn this, or I've got to. That's why so many people look at certain individuals and they say, well, they're so much more blessed than me. They must be doing more. They must. I'm going to start preaching. They look at other individuals and they begin to say, oh, their faith must be a little more than mine. No, that's not the case. That has nothing to do with the case. He says, I've given you all a measure of faith. Should we apply that faith and sow the faith? Yes. But at the end of the day, he says, I give to you because you're my children. End of discussion. Other areas in your life do not prosper because the enemy's still got a foothold in it. That has nothing to do with God. That's the access that you give it. How can he give something in an area that he ain't welcome? How can he give in a financial place where he ain't welcome? How can he give in your job where he ain't welcome? How can he give in the school system when he ain't welcome? How can he give in your house and your family if he ain't welcome? If he don't have access there, he can't give. But it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with how much you do. It has nothing to do with having more faith than anybody else. What about Hebrews 11:6, Pastor? Without faith, it's impossible to please God. What about that? Hebrews 11 tells us it's a faith chapter. Hebrews 11:6 also goes on. It goes on and says, you must believe that he exists. You must believe that he exists. And he rewards those who diligently or earnestly seek him. What do you do when you seek him? You're seeking his access. You're seeking his face. It is not, that's the faith. It's just saying, I'm seeking you for this. In this situation, it's giving him access in that area. It's just the faith in him. It's not the faith. There are many churches all over this place. All over the world right now. There's some meeting right now. They're preaching. They will preach to you this very thing that the more faith you have, the more you receive. They'll preach this. The more you serve God, the more you give to God, the more you do for God, the more you receive. I'll bring you back to the widow that gave a penny in the offering. And all those come by, and they gave. The woman that gave the penny, and Jesus said, who gave the most? And they said, the widow. Why? Because she gave from her abundance. She gave all that she had. It was a penny. It's what she had. And she gave this trust in Jesus. She just, I've given it to you. I'm applying the blood. I'm applying the word to it, and I'm sowing it. It's access. It's that simple. It's that simple. And we strive, and it breaks my heart. You know, last week, Pastor B was preaching. He got a lot of time, and spent a lot of time on giving me praise and props. My wife's time. And I felt about this big. I felt about this big because see, I don't look around and I don't look at numbers and say I'm doing right because if people come in, Lance had a lot of numbers. There'll be a lot of numbers that can't see what she can. I think they're what, 3-1, something like that. There'll be a lot of people at the open later games. There'll be a lot of people in somebody else's stadium today that they want a game all day, all year long. So it ain't about them. If I look out and see numbers, if I look across this and I count numbers and say, oh, we're doing fantastic because you show up, no. That's not it. It's about this right here. It's understanding the access and seeing people grabbing a hold and getting Jesus into their lives and saying, I've come here for one sole purpose. I don't care what the bald-headed guy's wearing this week or what he's going to say. I care about one thing and one thing only. I want access to my Lord. And he said, when we're gathered together, He'll pour out a presence that's undeniable. He'll pour out a presence that's overwhelming. He'll come in the midst as we gather together and He'll begin to shed all the world around me. In that moment, I get quiet with Him. In that moment, I get alone with Him. In that moment, it's just me and Him. See, because it's in that place, and it's in that moment that you know that people have got it, and they understand what we're preaching in this place. Because it's about Jesus, and it's about what He wants to do in our lives, to give us access. It ain't about reading my word the most. It ain't about knowing the most scripture. It ain't about saying, hey, the gifts of God flourish through me more than everybody else. No. They're gifts. They flourish because they yield yourself in them. He just gives them because you've given Him access there. You know about, oh my God, you know. We talk about healing. And there's others over here that I believe we're going to give more access to the doctor. Hey, I'm not the doctor, but I'm not mad at the doctors because they're for a purpose. But at the end of the day, there's one healer, there's only one. He's the only one that can heal. A doctor can help facilitate, move that healing along, but he can't heal you. He can't. He can't do it. And it's given, they'll put more trust and faith in a doctor than they will what God says. They'll put more faith and trust in an individual, a man, than they do God. And they'll say, I believe God and I trust God. All their speech is correct. All they've done is God. They've got their reward. You see what makes you feel more attentive. Listen, we know this, that the tongue is sharper than any two-edged sword. We know that if we will profess, we get. We receive what we profess. There is power in our language, but the power in our language only goes so far if we don't believe it. Mm-hmm. We can profess something day after day, day after day, and day after day, and if we never ever receive that and give God access to that, then we will never ever, that power ain't there.
Right.
I heard somebody talk about that song right there, Do It Again, and moving the mountains. And said, God's never moved the mountain. We move the mountains with our feet. That's not true. That's not true. It's God still that moves the mountain. Have any of you picked up a mountain and moved it? No. It's still, we profess it, and then we're giving God access to that, and it's saying this needs to be done, and so God goes through and does it. It's not the power of life and death through the tongue. Why? Because I'm giving God access to that area. If I do. And sometimes, we got to profess it to get it in our heart. Absolutely. But at the same time, He gives these things because He loves you and He wants you to prosper and He wants you to move ahead and surge ahead. And here's the problem. See, here becomes the problem. Is the very hierarchy we see. He gets a gift from the king. And all of a sudden, the gift ain't good. The gift ain't good. I want it better than that. You're going to give me something, you're going to give me this? As I said, next week we'll take this deeper because he gives them back and he says, this ain't good enough. This ain't good enough for you. They're good for nothing for who? I thought that was kind of funny. It really jumped out because that was the week the Mountain Girl played Kabul for homecoming. And it's always been Mountain Girl should always just won, but Mountain Girl pretty bad. And they got slaughtered. And so it was kind of funny. We always kind of thought it was. So I just kind of jumped out at me. Cool. Good for nothing. Good for nothing. That's the way he looked at it. It's good for nothing. See, and this is the thing, is most of us as men and women of God, as we walk through this process and we do things, and God blesses us and gives to us, and He pours out in our lives, and we look around and we say, I don't have what they have. I don't have the big, nice house. I don't have the fancy car. I don't have. And sometimes He says, you do have. We lived in an old rotten trailer house, and it was falling down, and rotting, and we got married, and my wife said, you just look at us, we have this one there. Forever. We went out and we laid it. She had this plan and had it. We go out, I go out and lay it out, and we're in the middle of a 5-acre field, by the way, and I taped it out of the ground, so dig a foot in. She's like, that ain't big enough. Not big enough. Not. It wasn't big enough, Bob. It wasn't. When I used to vacuum our trailer house, I vacuumed it like 3-4 times because I was used to cleaning my mom's house. And so it would take me about 2 minutes. I better vacuum again. Then we built this house, and I go and I'm vacuuming. I'd spend half the day vacuuming, and I would skip half of it, and I'd sit on it. I need a bigger house, Lord. I need a bigger house. And when I was in that trailer house, you know this time we spent in the trailer house, I was there quite a bit. I get off work and pick up my feet, I was there. Moving to this big house, I was never home. Only time I was home, I was fixing everything the kids broke. And by the way, bigger house, there's a lot more to fix. We weren't content with what we had. And we wanted something bigger, and it became a financial disaster. It sucked the life out of us because we was always trying to earn to pay for that. It wasn't enough. What God had given us wasn't enough, and we wanted more. Our eyes fixed on the Rockefellers and everybody else and the who's who. Why? So we could, oh, Lord, my God. If I just lived in a different neighborhood, if I just had this. Listen, if I just lived in a different town, it would be better. Listen, what God has given you is for you. What God has put before you is for you. It's a blessing. And if we get our eyes fixed up on what is a blessing and stop looking at it as a cursing and look at it as a blessing, I want you to take a moment and look around this room. Every individual in here, every one of them, God has given you access to them as a friend and a brother and sister. Yeah, but they get on my nerves. Or, something like my wife's nerves all the time. She still keeps me around. God has given us each other. And instead, all we do, oh, Lord, my God, we end up picking apart what God gives us. We look at individuals, we can pick them apart, pick their faults apart. We can do everything and talk about all the negative instead of seeing what God brought them there. Why was Hiram there? Hiram had the very thing that Solomon needed to build his palace and to build the temple. He was there for that purpose. They are the ones that had the gifts of cutting the cedar and ripping it down and putting it down the river. They were the ones with all the cedar all over their land. They had it, and He could give it. You think about this building, and God has given it to you. It's yours. Everything that God gives is to build the temple. Everything God gives to build the temple. Who's the temple? What's the temple? You're the temple. I'm the temple. To build it. To prosper it. This is why sometimes somebody over here has been given a lot more than what seems like you're given, but in reality it's not. What they've been given has been there to facilitate the building of the temple. It may be the very thing that is to help build you up and gird you up. Instead of looking at it and comparing yourself to them, be thankful for what they've got because it's part of you. There are so many people. This absolutely breaks my heart because there's people that don't want to be here. They don't want to be in this church. They don't. They come because they have to. They take for granted what God gives. They have no desire to be. I'll tell you this. There'll always be a better preacher. There'll always be a better teacher. This is what God gave you. There will always be a nicer building. I don't care if you go to James River, one of the nice complexes around. Okay. This is what He's giving you. This town is what He's giving you. He didn't bring you here and draw you here for no purpose. There's people in authority. There's people that have influence in restaurants and in different places. They have been given this opportunity. There's school teachers. There's all kinds of people in this place that have been given this. This is your community. And God's blessed you with it. And all we do as people is look at the negative of it. I sat with an individual the other day, and he started telling me and picking these people out. And he was telling me about, and he wasn't loud, but what he was doing was he was seeing all the negatives in them and wishing it would change. And quite frankly, why did God put them in your path and why are you here? It's so because they're there for you to help build up and build the temple. See, if we get to this place and we just say, God, I'm going to give you access to this. There's so many of these services we said to the God, I don't even have access to your heart. You've got one foot out the door, you're ready to leave before we even reach out. I'm just preaching to you now. I'm trying to get you something to help. This is what I long for. This is what I want to see. I want to see when God gives something that we recognize it and we don't look at the negative of it. We see the positive. Because what Solomon does with this place is he begins to build it up and he begins to orchestrate something great. And he sits in and he sends the children of Israel, those Hebrews, out. And they begin to sit in these cities. The very cities that he said was good for nothing. He was then given to them. What was the problem with Hiram? He had an idol. That's what Tyre was at this point. It was on an island. And it was not good for growing crops. It was not. This is why he says, I need food for my royal palace. It's because it wasn't, if you've ever been on an island, they don't grow crops real well because of sandy, salty soil. And then what is made up of not, you move up the elevation and it's rocky and rigid. It's very hard to grow crops. With the cypress trees, the cedar trees, they grew, they flourished, so we have that. And now he says, I'm going to give you some land inland. It's in, we own it, it's ours, but this is good farmland. You just got to work it. You got to do something with it. You want, I can send you all that I can, all day long. I can give and I can give and I can give, but I want you to be able to supply for your people on your own. I want you to have the riches of the kingdom. I want you to understand that when I say that my king walked the streets of gold, that means when I walk through life, I'm walking on glorious streets. They may not look like gold, but I know this. You're transparent and can't be seen anyway. The gold is so pure, it's transparent. When I've got access to the kingdom, and he says, I've given it to you to walk through life with, and if you just take what you got and apply it in your life, then you would understand that what I've given you is so that the temple can be built, and you can flourish, and you can feed all of your flock. Every one of us have a flock. We've got kids, we've got grandkids, we've got cousins, we've got people in our lives that were called along for us to help gird up. We talked about the gift of prophecy Wednesday night. It's to do three things: to encourage, to edify, and to comfort. That's it. Encourage, edify, and comfort. And he says, I've given this. I've bestowed it upon you. You ever got right here by happenstance? You didn't just one day say, oh, I'd like to walk in there. That'd just be cool. Well, I heard other people go there. The door got open and you got brought here for a purpose, and you're here for a purpose and reason. One of the things about getting patted on the back is I always feel like I can do this. Why? Because what I pray, what I believe, what I speak, what I preach to you, I believe it, I receive it, and I want to see it come to pass in our lives. I don't just preach it so that we can just have another day of let's talk about Jesus. Walk out here feeling good. I preach it so that you walk out receiving what he has. And you get it. You get it. Fully grab a hold of it. We took our time and began to meditate on what's in our lives and really begin to thank God for them. And listen. Sue's in the back of the audience, so they don't get to defend themselves. Don't you understand? So, Sue and Roger, they're not perfect. Sue's very loud. She can say things that, well, aren't nice. But you know what every one of you, that your kids and grandkids are given? A man or woman that absolutely love your kids. Absolutely love your kids. They're not perfect. They're not, but God's given them to you. We talk about giving them to the kids, or the kids giving to them, or whatever. But God give them to you. God bless you with it. That's a simple blessing that most of you guys don't see and don't hear. You. It's the gift God has blessed us with. Instead of saying, Lord, I thank you. I thank you that I've got a children's pastor here that will teach my kid the word of God, train up the child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they shall not depart. You've got that. You've got that. You've got elders here that absolutely love you. we do anything, there's one that is on constant on me. If somebody misses church, he asks me, where's such and such at? And then even if he may be calling him. Found him. It's all right. Because he cares. And these are things that God's blessed us with, and we take for granted every single day. And I'm not praising them up. I'm really not. I'm trying to get us to understand the fact that just little things in our life that we take for granted and we throw wayside. Your car, your trucks, your house, your kids. Let me tell you this, and I'm going to wrap this up. I'm really trying to hurry, but it's so heavy on me, but understand this. I know a lot of grandparents in here that have either had to raise their kids, or their kids are way off. I'm not raising their grandkids, I'm sorry. Raise their grandkids, and their kids are way off, and they're running. And they just long for their kid to be healed, to receive Jesus. They long for it. And their kid out there in the world, they're playing the world and lost. You know, as a parent right now, what a blessing it is that you have your kids under your roof. Yeah. Ask some of these people. Why? Because you have the ability to plug something in day after day and to preach Jesus and love on them and show them the love of Jesus and be thankful for the time you have. You have that right now. You have that. Where others I wish I could just bring her home or him home and love on them a little bit more and tell them about Jesus. I wish I could just comfort them in this moment just a little bit more. See, these are things that we just throw wayside day after day. My God said, I'm giving, and you've got your eyes fixed on everything other than what I'm doing. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. This is for me, this is good for you. Stand for it. My God, your God, the one and only God, says you got access to me. You got access to me. And if you do anything in life looking for a reward, then you've missed it. Because God poured out my life for one reason alone. And you received it for one reason alone. Is to come and meet me for who I am. Come meet me for who I am. Come see me for who I am. To come be my friend, my son, my daughter. Come and assemble. And when you sit in my life, you got your reward. And as you walk through life, I'm going to give you everything you need to do it. And I do it because I love you. Not because I have to. Not because I have to, but because I love you. This morning, as I do this altar call, I want us to understand. By the amount of things you have, the amount of things that other people have, does not determine your faith, their walk with God. It does not. Some of the richest people in this world are bitter, battered, and broken, and didn't receive a thing of it. Paul says this. He says, I know what it's to be like with and to do without. I have plenty. And I have none. But I've learned. And again, it's at the end of the day, all of his needs are met. The need to continue on and do the work of the Lord. The author calls it simple. Let's say I'm welcoming somebody. Probably not that way. I'm welcoming somebody this morning to access to me. You've heard a lot about Jesus. You've been told a lot about Jesus your whole entire life. But at the end of the day, you've never met him. So my arms are open. My blood is here to wash you clean. It's the only thing that's separates. That's you. I need you to come this morning. But the other call is this. The Lord says this. I'm looking for access into some people's lives. Into an area where we have not pleaded the blood through and pleaded the blood over. You may declare it and you may say it, but in this moment, right here, right now, I'm trying to show you that you have not opened yourself up to me. You have not given that area, whether it's your finances, whether it's your job, whether it's your household. I have not given it to the Lord. And the Lord says this is your moment right here, right now. I am allowing you to come to my altar and give that access to me. Not only with your mouth, but in this moment, I need you to lay down the thought and the cares of the world and lay them down at my feet. In this moment, I'm longing for you to receive me into every area and give me every access to every area and iota of your life in this moment. That's let's stand together with the Lord. Thank you. Thank you.